France is still taking $500 billion a year out of Africa, right now.
Billion.
Out of their 14 ex-colonies, because they made them sign the pact of the continuation of colonization back in the late 50s. And they had no choice but to sign.
And what does that look like? Because that means, so whenever these 14 countries that are, part of that, like when they have goods that they want to export, they can't because...
Yes, they can, but they have to export them to France.
They have to export them to France.
And then have to buy back. They have to buy back the products. They export the natural resources, the raw materials, and then they have to buy back the products from France.
With their money.
With their money. Now, France also forces them to spend to give up to 85% of their GDP to France. Up to 85%, right? They force them to give them French companies the first right of refusal for every public or private contract, right?
So if they say, hey, we got some cocoa beans here, we want to sell it to America.
No economic sovereignty, no food sovereignty, no power sovereignty, right? Because they're forced, again, to export their resources to France and then buy back the products to survive. That's what's going on right now.
And this is why the countries are kicking them some...
exactly, and that's why, and France is taking the $500 billion and they invested in the stock market in France to the tune of trillions of dollars. Africa's not getting that. France is keeping that. And if somebody speaks up, they turn off the faucet of the currency because France is printing the currency for those 14 countries. That's why now you have people like present, like
Burkina
Faso.
What's the other guy? Niger,
Mali, Niger.
Those guys.
Exactly.
I'm glad this happening. It's
who
real.
Are getting together.
Yes.
And they're kicking out France because what happened before, if a country said no, France would pour concrete in their sewage system, in their water supply. They would destroy the schools and the hospitals before they leave, right? Then they would come in with mercenaries.
Yeah.
And they would take people out. Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, right?
Yeah.
That's what's going on right now. So colonization is not over.
Because you know what I've always wondered? It's like, man, you think about this theme, and as you're saying this and giving me these examples, and it's really, really helpful, is that it almost promotes the corruption. People see African countries like, it's so corrupt. And I'm like, well, it's not.
That's a funny point. Because,
it's not because it's corrupt.
Is it corruption when you come to somebody's house and you offer them a Rolls Royce and a G-Wagon and a pool for their house and for another car for the wife? And if they say no, you say, well, then we're gonna have to kill you. Is that corruption?
No, it's not.
Not to say there's not corruption in Africa, like in any other country in the world, right? But they say that because they want to distract you from them going in and grabbing all your...
This happened with Murtala Muhammad for Nigeria. The airport is named after him, but I know he was one of his big things was to try to end the corruption and then taken out, you know what I mean? And so, it's almost to that point, like if you go and buck the system, then all of a sudden...
Well, the thing is, too, is it's the people on the inside that are selling you out. But I think Abraham Traore, which I'm impressed by, I think that he studied all of that first.
Yeah.
He really studied because he knows they're gonna pay somebody some chump change to sell him out. But I think the fact that he's controlling the gold tree, he goes, listen.
He closed the borders too.
Beautiful. And they had some woman, some white woman came in, because they have them white women that come in and want to do drum circles and take care of children. One of them tried to come in. She was like, yeah. And he was like, you got 3 days to get the out of my country. She's like, what's going on? He's like,
take your drums.
He's like, hey, white woman, no to this dancing. he stopped her because she was an informant. She tried to be in there, because white women have that voice. Oh my God, the kids. She's like, 3 days and get the out. 3 jours, right? Yeah. He's like, get the he was not playing because he's mapped it all out. And who he's surrounded by, he's impenetrable. He planned it. Yeah. And think about it, you controlling your own gold. You like my man. They're gonna give you chump change. I'm giving you gold, bro. You're gonna stay loyal to me. You're some gold, but come on, man. Right. I got you your own.
You think that will spread throughout Africa? Or are there too many leaders that are afraid to do that?
I think by the grace of God, I think we're moving in the right direction. I think the African Continental Free Trade Area that has been established in 2019 in Accra is going to help unite African countries because we're starting to do away with visa requirements, which is
To travel internally,
a
right?
great step
Just to
for
go
us to
step
be able
Yeah.
to travel and trade.
Have you met
cross
Malema?
borders.
Have you met Julius Malema from South Africa yet?
Yes.
EFM? Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
I loved.
And there's a lot of young leaders now
Beautiful.
that are coming in power.
Yeah.
That are progressive and they are innovative and they're really savvy when it comes to technology, when it comes to infrastructure, manufacturing, and the intent to take ownership of value chains rather than continuing to export raw materials, keep the raw materials, process the raw materials, and be able to take a larger chunks of the entire value chain. That's very important. And I think that we're moving in that direction. Obviously, we're not there yet, but
I feel like
also we have the youngest generation in the world. Average age is 19. 19. It's 36 here.
Wow.
42 in Europe. 19 in Africa. So the consciousness, the awareness amongst all these young people is tremendous. Super smart, great ideas. Technology helps. It's a great equalizer.
But do you think that could also be slow down the process as Western culture is easier to kind of promote and to spread, right? Like
That's why it's important. You know,
we don't
that's
control
why
the algorithm.
That's why we do what we do with Full Circle, right? Full Circle Africa and now Full Circle.
tell us about your Full
Streamline.
Circle, yeah.
yeah.
What we're doing is everything we're doing is to normalize blackness and also to normalize black excellence, right? Showing a different narrative in terms of what Africa is all about.
Yeah.
And counteracting old stereotypes and biases. And because this has all been done intentionally, right? So, and a part of that is to build a bridge between the diaspora and the continent, because the diaspora is a huge asset to the continent. I mean, there's 2 billion people, right? Between Africa and people of African descent. 600 million people is the third biggest country in the world. That's the African diaspora, 600 million people. Wow. So that's a very powerful asset to have. So part of our work is to connect investors, to increase investment tourism, to increase economic development opportunities, investment opportunities, to educate people about the great opportunities that are Africa, right? Africa has the highest return on foreign investment than any other place in the world.
But you don't hear about
Of
that.
course not.
Of course, not right.
Hear
Of
about
course,
it.
the global average is 7.4. Africa is 11, right? So nobody knows that, and nobody thinks that, and nobody talks about that
Right.
because it's counterintuitive to
I'm gonna
to
keep it-
the
I'm gonna keep it-
perspective that they have.
I'm going to keep it a
the
buck
continent.
with you because I've often thought about this, especially getting older. I'm going, I want to invest in Africa, but then just being honest and truthful, then fear starts to come. Like, wait, what if this happens and what if that happens? And
What
I'm
if a
like-
line comes?
Right. And it's because I think what ends up happening is that all of that programming and fear starts to come like, oh, well, you don't know, and what, and before you know it, you end up doing nothing, right? You end up doing nothing and not investing.
That's
And
why
so-
you're here.
Yeah.
To guide us to this.
It's crazy. It's really crazy. I mean, Nigeria's GDP is going to be $15 trillion by 2050. Nigeria's going to be the third biggest economy in the world.
Wow.
That's the truth.